Welcome to Dark Age Radio and Gehenna Gaming presents Wrath and Glory, a live play of the Wrath and Glory RPG by Cubicle 7, which is, of course, the Warhammer 40,000 RPG. I am one of the regular hosts of Dark Age Radio and Darkhammer. My name's Chris, and I'm the GM for this game. And as always, I am joined by Ian from Gehenna Gaming.
Hello, everyone.
I am joined by Crystal from Dark Age Radio.
Hello.
I am joined by Chigg from Dark Age Radio.
Hi, guys.
I am joined by Mike from Dark Age Radio, whose camera is not working today, so we have a wonderful picture of a beastman.
No, it's a picture of me. I haven't had a haircut in 10 months, so yeah, that's how I look.
And we are joined again by our guest player for this story, Elaine, who is a freelancer for Cubicle 7, who has worked on things such as Wrath and Glory and Soulbound, and of course many other RPGs beyond Cubicle 7, and other writing, of course. So let's just review what people are playing. We have Ian playing Weir, who is a death cult assassin armed with a pair of power swords and generally just killing lots of people and wearing their faces.
Yeah.
We have Crystal playing Danica, who is a commissar of I can't remember which legion we said she's. Oh, the Rostroian.
Hold on a second.
Rostrian. Yeah,
It's the
the fairy hats.
Yeah,
Zarus,
Vostroyan.
yeah, Rostroian, Zarus, Russia, kind of pseudo-looking, armor and livery. Chigg is playing Sister Mariana, who is a Sister of Battle, a Adeptus Soriatus. We have Mike, of course, playing his Beastman, who is thus a Scavvy, one of the mutant underhivers from, I think, Necromunda we've established. Yep. And Elaine, you are playing a astropath, and I'm blanking on the name already of the character. Sorry. What was the first name?
Lady Annette Augustine Valence.
Valence. Lady Annette Augustine Valence, who is of noble birth and obviously got shipped off to be soul to have the soul binding with the Emperor, when it was ascertained that she had latent psychic abilities, and of course has made it all the way to the Gilead system, along with everyone else in the party, or other members of the party are from the Gilead system, and thus have travelled through the Great Rift, the Secretrix Maledictum. You are a party, a cadre of troubleshooters, let's just say, who work for Lord Jaciel Veronius, who is the Lord Commander of a rogue trader fleet. And you are on the world of, and again, this is where I'm going to forget which is a moon around Gilead Prime. It is Daedalon, which is a cemetery world. This is a world where vast hundreds, thousands, millions of people through the entire Gilead system are brought to either be interred in tombs if they can afford them, or of course turned into corpse starch, which is a foodstuff within the Imperium. And of course the rest of their bones and flesh and other bits of them are used as trinkets and holy relics, or at least fobbed off as holy relics. Currently, you are investigating on behalf of a Ordo Hereticus Interrogator, Perdita Mendax, and she is looking for an item known as the Revelator, which apparently can track, navigate through warp space, the immaterium, that other realm of psychic energy and where demons come from. And in order to lay low, you have been deposited on this world. You were given a drug which made you seem corpse-like, and you were dumped with a whole load of bodies onto the world from a carrier, and from there you have gained some of your equipment. You don't have all your regular armor or equipment like that, so you're just wearing rather normal clothes, and you are going through the city of Barastia looking for the tomb of a particular imperial noble, the imperial noble being, I need to remind myself of all the notes. We do have many notes here. You are... Yes, you're looking for the Gelfradus family and the tomb complex of that to find the Revelator that's apparently buried with them. In your travels in your investigations, you have determined that there is someone with some information on how to get there, a man called Diomedes, who, along with doing other things, seems to steal servitor skulls, the augmented cybernetic skulls that contain the brains of their dead owners, let's just say, and are used as essentially kind of small robotic servants for various other things, whether it's their servo skulls that are used for weaponry, servo skulls for looking for information, which is why you're looking for a particular pair of servo skulls, or their servo skulls that do healing. You can get Medicaid servo skulls. You found Diomedes in a bar, the bar being called the Jolly Undertaker. And from there, you were about to be jumped upon by a number of his associates. However, they didn't expect to have Weir descend upon them from the shadows, carving them in two with his power blades, and then for Commissar Danica to pull out her bolt pistol and terrorize them with her, just by her sheer presence and will. And of course, at the same time, we also had Rufio, Mike's character, also displaying his entire brutal appearance and stature and bray at them to make them run away squealing. And of course, we saw Elaine's astropath, Annette, perform a wonderful, wonderful act of psychometry, or as we like to also call it, an auto seance, allowing us to see into the past, which is how they discovered who took the skulls. From there, you were taken to Diomedes' shanty, and he has agreed for a nominal fee of not being killed at this point, I'm sure, to take you to the Galfredus family crypts, to the necropolis, from where you'll hopefully find the Revelator. So we will pick up as you are in the back of Diomedes' skull-encrusted automobile that is pumping out noxious fumes as it burns Promethean, and it speeds down the well-trodden, cobbled roads that lead through the innumerable and ancient and massive graveyards that obviously litter the entire moon. And of course, upon these graveyards, a wonderful delicacy of mushrooms grow, which of course you've already tried. And of course, as typical with this world obviously having been to a degree, modified, its geography, and it's been terraformed. It is torrential rain. You're barely keeping yourselves dry under the ratty tarpaulin that is over the top of the back of this automobile. This automobile is most probably some modified model of a Taurox or something, some vehicle like that that's been extended, so it's got tracks so it doesn't get stuck in the mud. And its loud engine is clattering along as you make your way towards the necropolis. So you vaguely know whereabouts you're heading because you've got Diomedes as your guide. What else are you doing or discussing while you're on the back of this rickety vehicle? We're, of course, saying nothing, as always.
I'm assuming Weir is sitting right behind him.
Yeah, does Danica have a bolt pistol drawn?
No, she does not. She's actually, I'm going to be paying more attention to how he is driving this thing.
Okay. Gee, I wonder why. Yeah, I am sitting directly behind him.
Okay. I would like everyone to make awareness tests.
Oh.
I forgot something. I don't have dice.
Oh, I almost did that yesterday.
Rufio got just one icon.
2 icons.
2 exalted icons, including 1 on the Wrath die.
Wow.
Right off the bat. Here we go.
Yep. Yeah, just...
One icon.
Two exalted icons and one on the wrath die.
2 total. One of which is on the wrath die.
Oh, one of which is on the not a one on the wrath die.
No.
Ah, shame.
I know. That would be great too.
Yeah. Right. Okay, good. I am going to roll some random events because this wonderful scenario has random events. So we're going to see what happens as you journey along. Right. Okay. Where? Because you scored very high so far. Your attention, even though there's the thrumming of the engine as it's burning petroleum in a very inefficient manner, you can hear as it's as you're round the corner, you hear an explosion nearby, and you can see smoke drifting up from a collection of tombs, a mausoleum, and you can see figures in the distance silhouetted against the sky.
Does our driver react to it?
Diomedes slows down a little. Sounds like someone must be trying to steal something from here, but we're nowhere near the Gofredus necropolis yet. We should proceed a little bit more quietly from here on out. There's plenty of these bone pickers around, you see. There's scum everywhere who'll just try and, well, if the local guard aren't around, they're trying to sneak into a tomb and steal what they can.
I look at our commissar for direction.
Is he being truthful? Can I roll insight for that?
Of course.
Yep. Oh, no, you don't. All right, I have 4 icons, and I have an exalted icon on the wrath die.
Okay. You can, if you want, you can shift your exalted icon on the wrath die into the glory pool.
I would like to do that.
Okay, so that means you've now got a point of glory in the pool, and you've got enough successes. Diomedes is telling the truth as far as you can tell.
All right, yeah, I will let him drive on.
Okay, you want to drive on. You don't want to deal with the desecration of tombs. Maybe Sister Mariana has a different opinion of things, though.
We're probably on our way to desecrate some tombs ourselves, to be honest.
We are going to further the Emperor's will.
Fair enough.
They are desecrating the heroes of this system. They should be stopped.
Is Sister Mariana just gonna jump out of the back of the truck and stalk off?
Driver, turn this vehicle around. We will stop them.
Hold on a second here, Sister Mariana. This could be a blessing from the Emperor. I mean, there's only so many enforcers here on this world that will be watching the graves. Perhaps this is a distraction conjured by the God Emperor himself to ease our passage and our accomplishment of his holy work.
Oh, yes, that does sound like his methods, doesn't it? Yes, he would of course give the guards something else to do so that we wouldn't have to harm them. Certainly they can take care of these lowborn ruffian scum. You're correct.
Okay. Right. I need okay, I'm just going to roll something for Diomedes.
Okay.
We'll see how this happens. But carry on.
With our gear, or was my bladed glove in there as well? I know it's not a weapon.
Yeah, that's in there.
Okay, cool. So I'm wearing it.
Okay, let me just check the... Yeah, you continue driving along, and despite Diomedes nursing the vehicle, grinding gears as he changes them. The vehicle that you're in, the automobile that you're in, just grinds to a halt. The mud that the wheels get stuck in and everything else is overpowering the engine, and then finally the coolant, the radiator bursts with too much heat, and there's steam, just wisping off the hood of the vehicle. Empress teeth, this damned thing. I'm gonna have to take some time to try and fix this up. I mean, from where we are, he looks around. You can mostly make the rest of the way on foot if you keep following this path here. It should be, if you carry on this way for about 20 minutes, and then take a left at the Lucius Mausoleum, and then carry on from there for about another 10 minutes, you'll get to the necropolis. But I'm sorry to say, but this old beauty, and he slaps the hood, she's not gonna last much longer unless I stop for a bit of time and try and fix her up. I can always meet you there later to ferry you back into town.
When he smacks the hood, does anything fall off of it?
Oh yeah, the front fender drops off along with some skulls.
Lovely.
Commissar, you're not just going to leave this individual here all alone, are you?
Oh, remember what I told you, Rubio.
Oh, yes. Okay. I'm sorry. Rewind. Danny, you're not just going to leave this individual here, are you? Sorry, it's been 2 weeks.
No,
Yeah.
it's totally fine. No, I do think you should come with us, and we will definitely come back to retrieve your vehicle.
Are you sure? He's a native. Surely, of all of us, he will be fine here on his own.
Oh, I'm sure he'd be fine here on his own. However, there's this thing called trust. I don't have it. So he comes with us, and we will come back for the vehicle once we are complete with our mission. She says that with all finality, like there's no discussion afterwards.
Currently, Diomedes has obviously got the hood of the vehicle open and is tinkering around with the botched job of various bits of piping and other vehicle equipment and engine pieces that make up this thing that by some means runs. And that, of course, you just think ID Fortran would look at this as sheer heresy in what it is. And you just hear him just swear, by the throne, why is this not working? Seems water got into the actuator there. It's just not firing the cylinders.
Because it is an abomination. That is why it's
abomination. It is, Donnie. An abomination it is. I'm gonna be here for at least a good half hour trying to work this out.
Wonderful. It'll be a half an hour once we are done coming with us to the tomb, and we'll.
I ain't leaving my vehicle here. We already heard bone pickers around. If I leave my vehicle here, I can guarantee you it will not be here when I get back. I ain't leaving my vehicle. This is my life.
That wasn't a question.
I reach out, gloved hand, sink the blades of it into the flesh of his arm.
He lets out a cry and jumps away from me. What the heck are you, you freak? I'm not leaving my vehicle here. He has his hand down onto where his auto pistol is on his holster. I'm telling you now, I'd rather die here than leave my vehicle behind.
This gentleman has a rather strong relationship with his vehicle.
Well, that is in fact an option.
That is an option. I will give you another option. There are 5 of us here, 6 total with you. There is no way under God Emperor's rule that we cannot find a way to hide this vehicle.
Fine, what we'll do? Someone scout out. I'm sure there's an old mausoleum somewhere big enough. What we're gonna do? Someone's gonna find one, and the rest of us, we're gonna push this old baby all the way into there, and we're gonna hide it there. I am not leaving it.
And I respect that. We will help you out because you are helping us out.
Good. At least we have an accord on that. And he spits at the ground, kind of annoyed at this whole madness, grinding his misaligned teeth, which are surely dentures he's made from other people's teeth that he's, pilfered from other graves. Right. It won't take you that long to find somewhere to take the vehicle and hide it. But it is going to require a group test of strength to push it, an athletics roll. So who's got the strength to kind of lead that? And then I think it's combined actions, which I can't remember how we do combined actions at this moment. I'm just going to
believe between Rufio and here.
Yeah, should we arm wrestle? I've got 5 strength.
Oh yeah, you're stronger than me.
Okay, I got this. Yeah, Rufio is as strong as a space marine.
Wow.
Just FYI.
Okay. Just you're gonna have to get a lot of successes to get there. It's gonna take you a while. So just roll. I think you're gonna need to get somewhere in the region of maybe 10 successes in total. Each round of rolling is gonna take about is gonna be about a good 5-10 minutes worth of hard work.
Can I assist?
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember how assists work.
I was gonna say, is it pure strength or can I roll athletics?
It is athletics. I'm trying to find the oh, there we go. Other tests, help. There we go, help. You can use a skill or attribute to help someone else. Blah 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 blah. If the GM agrees that would be helpful, grab a number of dice equal to the attribute or skill rating you're using to help with. So in other words, Rufio gets a bonus number of dice equal to whatever Weir is contributing, whether it's his athletics or his strength.
Yeah,
we 6 then.
Yeah, Weir, go ahead and you can roll those 6. And Rufio himself got 8 icons.
Jesus. What? Wow.
I have 3 more to add to that.
There's a horsepower joke in here somewhere, but I'm not going to say it.
No power.
Okay, it doesn't take you much effort then to start pushing this vehicle through a graveyard, through the mud, with Diomedes, helping and steering it, and ensuring that the brakes don't fail on it, or just making sure it rolls along, and you slide it into an old mausoleum that has water dripping through the top, and he grabs another sheet of tarpaulin and begins to cover over the vehicle, finding the old door to the mausoleum, the old steel iron gate, and place it in front of it. And before long, the whole thing is hidden as well as can be, so it's definitely not noticeable. But as that's been going on, you can then set off and you can head with Diomedes in the direction that he suggested. Again, trudging through the muddy roads with the rain constantly, falling from above. It's very grim. That means everyone needs to make gonna have to make survival tests to trudge through this and not slip and slide, because obviously if something bad happens, you might make some noise, you might land on your ass, you might slip into a mass grave that, with the weather, opens up beneath you.
As someone of noble blood, I refuse to let my feet be soiled by such grave soil and mud. So I'm going to cast hover upon myself using my psychic.
Okay.
Hopefully, difficulty 4. Psychic. I rolled 9 dice for this, so it should be fine.
I rolled 2 exalted icons again, one of which is on the wrath die.
I rolled 2 icons and a 1 on the wrath die.
Ruh-roh.
Just
Right.
5 icons for me.
2 icons and 2 exalted icons.
So if you've got any successes on the survival test, you're fine.
Woo!
Elaine, you succeeded on that test?
I did, yes. I'm just gonna
Okay, so you hover
about half a foot off the ground and just sort of, very disdainfully looking at the ground.
the wind obviously picking up your coat and it billowing around you a little bit as you glide along. If everyone got success, that's fine. Of course, though, Sister Mariana rolled a complication.
Oh no, just the one.
So, let me see what is going on here.
Well, how does Diomedes actually react to psychic powers? Because I think that's the first time.
It's potentially as he sees you do this, he kind of stops and just stares, watching you. He as you glide past, and he makes the sign of the Aquila. I didn't think we had a witch with us. Surely this should be reported.
Yes, we'll get around to that right after we report your attempted murders. Okay.
It will be.
As you go along up the hill along this route, there, in the middle of the road, with rain spattering around them, their blood pooling in it with the mud, is a body. They look to be potentially a pilgrim. Their robes would have been at least resplendent white, and you can at least see some stitching in their robes, which would suggest they are a member of some sort of order or church from some far distant world.
Oh, those poor souls. We have to do something for them. We can't just leave them here. So
Yes,
Sister
of course.
Mariana is going to go check out the bodies. I'm assuming that they didn't die of natural causes while walking through the mud.
No, if you want to go check out the body, you can make a wits, whatever it would be, a perception test or awareness test, whichever one's the appropriate one.
It's one more dead body in a place like this.
Tragedy. Wow. One icon.
Ooh.
One icon. You can see that they've been shot through the chest by a auto weapon of some form.
It's probably recently too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if the blood's still pooling out of them, then yeah.
Right, I just need to roll something, and we'll see what happens.
While Sister Mariana is inspecting the corpse, I will be looking around the area. People who committed the murder are still nearby.
I think all of you have a higher passive awareness than one.
Yes.
Yeah. You definitely realize as you look around that there are figures moving behind gravestones and tombs moving towards you. Clearly, this body here was left here as a trap. Of course, they don't have the advantage on you. You're not surprised because you're far too paranoid as a group to ever consider such a thing as simple as this to be to fall for such a pathetic example of a trap. And yes, they begin moving towards you, and you hear the first shot fired from one of their crude auto weapons. The shot, the round whizzing past someone's head and splintering a gravestone. At which point, it's up to any of you can choose to take the next action.
I am going to drop behind some of the gravestones and attempt to stealth my way around towards them.
Okay. Yeah, you won't be able to. I don't think you'll be able to actively disappear because, like, stealthily, because it's an active combat and they've seen where you've disappeared behind something. But you can certainly, you could certainly start darting through. Do a all-out kind of defense, running through between gravestones, using the cover to close the distance with them. So I think that would be more than likely the most appropriate thing to do. Let's see, there is a particular action for that. Let's see, where are we going to be? It's going to be actions. It's going to be combat actions. Not multi-action, there's some other ones somewhere.
Be doing that later.
Jumping, crawling. Yeah, essentially it'd be running using cover.
Okay.
Yeah, cover represents protection. You'll get +1 defense from cover as you're darting between them, and we'll count you as being on full defense essentially because you are going to dodge anything and everything as you jump behind one gravestone to the next, darting along. But that would be your action. As you do that, one of the mob is going. Well, they're not acting as a mob, but one of the bone pickers points in your direction an auto pistol and starts taking a shot. And I think he's going to go for Rufio because Rufio is the biggest one that he can see, and so is the most obvious target, of course. Let's see. What's his default is there. Okay, cool. What's your defense for Rufio?
Defense is 2.
Defense is 2. But also, because it is a downpour and everything, I'm going to say there is a penalty in all of this of +1 to, let's say +1 to ballistic skill tests. So
Sure.
Everything's +1 harder. So your defense is 3 then. And a whole lot of shots rattle off in your direction and they go whizzing over your head. They miss. Who wants to act next?
Rufio will go. Rufio
Aw.
brays and fires up his chainsword and just charges at the closest muzzle flash.
Okay. I don't think you're going to quite reach him this round.
That's fine.
But you just start running off in their direction. You can make use of the cover, obviously.
I don't think he is.
Yeah, okay, fine. Another one's going to start firing. This time I will randomize. We will be going after Danica. Your defense?
1, because I don't have my coat.
So it counts as 2 then. And that is... Oh, that's good. That is 3 successes on the hit. So they've hit. So that's 2. And he's going to shift one of those extra dice into the damage pool. But there's a complication. And as he's firing these shots, the auto pistol jams and backfires in his hand, causing serious injury. And as these shots come whizzing towards you, Let's see. The damage on on one of these is not very. It's not much. I say it's not much, but you know, it's enough when you've got no armor. Where are we? We got weapons there. Warp weapons? No. Range weapons. That's what we want. We want projectile weapons, and we want the rules for that. Why is there no rules for that? It's at the start of the section, isn't it? I don't know. There we go. The table. Projectile weapons. Auto pistol. Damage 7 with 2 extra damage dice. Then, and what's your resilience in total then, without your armor? 4. We'll count it as 5 due to the basic clothing that you would have been given. And that is 9 damage in total. So that's 5 damage in total then. Does 5 points of damage to you.
Ow.
How many hits does that take off you?
I have 6. My wound rating is 6.
Your wound rating is 6. Now, if you want, with damage, you could try and resist the damage. So you can do a shock test, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Hold on, I have something for shock too.
So it's making a determination test. So you roll your determination pool and you count the number of icons. Each icon converts 1 wound to 1 shock, and you suffer the remaining wounds as normal.
Okay, and I just learned the talent Tenacious, which means I recover 1 shock for every exalted icon I roll when I roll determination.
Brilliant, nice. Brilliant.
All right, and my determination is 4. Do I still roll wrath dice with that?
No, you don't. You never roll wrath dice for this roll.
Okay, just checking. This is the first time I'm rolling it. 2 icons.
Okay, so that means you take 2 less damage than you would do. So you take 3 points of damage.
Awesome.
But you also take
shock.
2 shock.
Okay.
Which you have plenty of shock, I believe, as well.
I have 8. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's basically representing you grit your teeth and you do find some sort of cover, or it's just a flesh wound. You know.
Oh,
you're
she's
used to
pissed.
She's pissed. I believe it might be her go next, and she has a bolt pistol.
Yes, and
I believe a bolt pistol has some really fun stuff you could do. So you could, if you wanted, use a reload on your bolt pistol, and you get its salvo rating added. So let's just remember what I need to remember what salvo does and everything. This is what happens every 2 weeks. You forget things. It's brutal, which means you get +1 on the. You get +1 when you roll the extra damage die. You get +1 to the result. So it means that a 3 and a 4 is 1 damage. A 5 and a 6 is 2 extra points of damage. And then the reload. I can't remember what reloads do. Anyone remember what reloads do? Oh, there we go. Reloads and ammunition. Let's see. Ammo. Where is it? I think you can use a reload to do a specific shooting action. That's what it is. You can do. Let me find it, because this is important, because you might do it a fair amount against these guys. Combat actions.
Those salvos on page 185.
Is it good?
Yep.
Oh, where is it? Function. Yeah, so you can use a reload to do full auto, which means you use up the reload and you empty the entire clip, and you make a full auto range attack, and you gain a number of dice equal to the weapon's salvo rating, which is only 1, so it's not great. You can do a spray shot, which means you can do it as part of a multi-attack action, reducing the DN of a test by the weapon's salvo rating. This can't decrease the difficulty number by more than the weapon's imposed multi-attack. So it's basically you're hitting the same person, but you're reducing the difficulty to hit them, in effect. And obviously spray shots versus mobs are really good because you're just unleashing it into a whole bunch of people. So really, I don't think, in fact, there's not really much reason for you to use it at this point. So just fire as normal.
Yep.
You've got +1 difficulty, so it's going to be a difficulty. Their defense is going to be like, what, I think 2? Let's see, defense. Yeah, defense 2, due to the rain.
I have 2 icons and an exalted icon.
Oh, right. Okay, so that means you get another point in the glory pool. And so you got 2 icons and an exalted icon on the wrath die.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, was it?
Oh,
Yeah.
no, it's not on the wrath die. It's just on a
okay.
regular die.
Okay, so you've got 5 successes in total. So yeah, you definitely hit. You can shift icons then into damage. So as long as you've got at least 2 successes in total.
Yep, I will shift 2 of those icons into damage.
Well, you can shift an exalted icon into damage.
Oh, then I will shift the exalted icon into damage.
And you can then roll the damage. So the damage on the bolt pistol is 10 basic. Oh wow, I don't think we need to roll this. But you can roll the extra damage dice. You've got how much extra damage dice normally? How many ED? It should be 2, I think, on a bolt weapon.
Yes.
So that means you're rolling
It's
3 extra
actually
damage dice.
1.
Is it 1? Oh,
It's
okay.
1 on the pistol.
It's 1
Oh,
on
yeah,
the
it is 1 on the pistol. Sorry.
Okay, so you're up to 2. So that's you roll 2 extra damage dice then in total, and if it's a 3 or 4, it's an extra point damage. If it's a 5 and 6, it's 2 extra points of damage. We just want to see how much damage a bolt pistol can really do on a good day.
Yeah. So I got 2 successes on my dice, so 12 damage.
So that's 12 damage in total, and a normal scum has a resilience of 3, and that means you just churn through the armor, exploding him apart. Literally, the bolt round hits him in the chest, and he is sheared into 3, maybe 4 parts. That terrifies those near them as they are splattered by his viscera. One of them runs away, obviously witnessing this bolt gun being fired off.
I am going to yell after them, nobody makes me bleed.
Right. One of them's going to next fire back. They're going to be shooting at all different targets, so I'm going to just roll again. Yeah, it's Sister Mariana is going to be taking this. And I would say taking this, but the shots miss Sister Mariana. Clearly, the God Emperor has blessed her. And Sister Mariana, what are you armed with?
Faith.
Faith. And what else?
That's all she needs. Sister Mariana will stand up in the middle of combat, glare at these scum, and tell them to drop their weapons right now. We will be having none of this. This is holy ground. You are...
Oh, Mom speaking now.
Are you actually performing
It's a miracle, yeah.
A miracle. Excellent.
I'm performing the repent miracle, where I can attempt to force another adherent of the imperial cult to repent using the force of my will. I spend 1 faith and make an opposed intimidation willpower test against your target with plus rank bonus dice. And I believe we are now rank 2. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, then. Do.
Is this an intimidation check?
It is.
You add double because I'm here.
I had double the rank.
I'll double your rank.
Goodness. Well, let's see. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 icons. 2 of those came from exalted icons. Or 4 of those came from exalted icons, rather.
Wow.
I got 2 6s and 2 5s. Let me put it that way. It's easier for me that way.
4 successes total on their resistance. to this?
It is resisted by their willpower. If I succeed on the test and the target has the Imperium keyword, which I'm assuming that they do,
Correct.
then they will kneel and repent for double my rank times 10 seconds. So 20 seconds. They will just consider the error of their ways, drop to their knees, and beg the God Emperor to forgive them for their horrible, horrible actions.
Yeah, and I think the one that'll be repenting is possibly one of the ones that's going to be quite close to Rufio in a few seconds, and they're going to be there repenting to the God Emperor, asking for salvation, for forgiveness, as this beastman is charging in their rough direction, and we know what's going to happen. But anyway, another one is going to be shooting. Another that only works against one target. That's correct.
You can attempt to force another adherent of the Imperial Cult. So it does not. It doesn't say that it's multi-target. So
that's quite useful. That's quite useful. You could use that on hive nobles.
I mean, as long as they're Imperium subjects,
yeah. Yeah, and the next lot of shooting is obviously going to be at the conspicuous floating person. And Annette's defense is.
I have my refractor fields.
Oh,
my wonderful jewelry. So what is it? Is it your total?
Your defense.
My defense is 1, and then
so it goes up to 2. So they've hit.
And then
they've hit.
Okay, right, okay.
And then I roll damage, which is 7 damage plus 1 ED, which is 8 points damage. But you've got a refractor field, whatever that's going to
do. I think that's. Yeah, I'm not sure how the resilience works.
Okay, let me look this up.
Because refractor fields invulnerable.
I know. Yes. So refractor fields are you've effectively got like a energy shield that is coming from your small brooch, I guess, as it's disguised. And let's see, Imperial power fields. There we go. So power fields, refractor field. Yeah. So it's 3 invulnerable. So your resilience can never drop lower than your power field rating. So if you've got resilience, say 7, and they were doing, and they had AP on their weapon, the AP of the weapon can't reduce your resilience at all. So the way we're playing is that if you've got armor, say you've got 2 points of resilience from armor and the weapon's got 3 AP, it will remove the resilience rating given to you by your armor. If you've got invulnerable armor, then that armor can never be affected by the AP of the weapon. So in your case, the AP of the weapon is not there, so that's not going to reduce it, but you still get the resilience rating of the refractor field on your natural resilience, your natural toughness. So you should have like about 7,
6, I believe.
6. So you take a point of damage.
Okay.
As again, the one bullet penetrates through the energy field. It crackles for a moment as the other auto pistol rounds evaporate against the energy, against this force field that is being put out. Of course, now is time for our astropath to have an action.
With this shot going off and then penetrating the shield and probably like grazing a temple or something, like a tiny inconsequential injury, I will shriek out, lose concentration, and fall flat into the mud, and then crawl towards the nearest tombstone, muttering some imperial litanies to myself about being caught in this stupid wasteland with these stupid bones and these stupid murderers, and then try and take cover as best I can while all of the rampant murderers take care of the murdering.
So you're just going for full-on cover. You're not going to attempt a psychic power to smite someone, or?
Oh gosh, no.
No.
What do I look like? A fighter? No.
Okay. Right.
I
So
believe
we're
I will
all-
only end up actually like fighting if I'm properly backed into a corner with this particular character.
Diomedes is obviously going to try and have a shot. Oh, actually, no, Diomedes won't get his chance yet because they're going to try and shoot at Diomedes. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Had to take him along with us, didn't you?
Yeah, you did.
Meat shield.
They've got a critical hit on him. Oh dear. Does someone want to roll a critical hit result for me on this auto round? And
2d6.
then D66. And then just look it up on the table for me. I want to see what Diomedes' stats are. Has he got a decent resilience? No, he hasn't. Oh no.
Oh no.
No. Yeah. That's Diomedes drops to the ground. The shot having hit his chest, but what's our D66 result?
A 24, which is ferocious rending. Attack shreds the opponent's flesh to ribbons, leaving them open to attack. Target suffers plus 1d3 wounds and is vulnerable. Rank 2.
Okay, yeah. Obviously, the shot didn't just hit Diomedes' chest; it punctured his heart and tore. Clearly, what's being fired from this is not an auto pistol. Clearly, the scummer here, this bone picker, is using a stub gun armed with dum-dum bullets, and this shot has, as it's entered his body, split up in multiple fragments and torn him apart from the inside out, the exit wound being about this big compared to the entry wound. And Diomedes chokes up blood and then lies face down in the mud. Your guide is dead.
Oh.
Meanwhile, who wants to take the next action? It's either going to be Weir or Rufio, because you're both running towards these bone pickers. I think Rufio should have his fun first.
Okay. So I guess we should randomly determine if I am charging at the one that is seeking penance or not.
Yep. Let's say on a 5 or 6 you are.
Okay. I don't know if I want this to be the case or not, but I rolled a 1.
Okay, so you run past him as he's weeping and crying to the God Emperor, and instead your chainsword is about to eviscerate some other bone picker who's dressed in rags and has what look like thumbs on a necklace that he's recovered from numerous graves.
Sweet. Well, he's not going to have that for very long because the chainsword crashes down towards, I guess not his head, but like between his shoulder and his head to split this individual in two. And Rufio gets 3 icons.
Which is definitely a hit.
Okay. No exalted icons, so nothing to shift over. But I've got a whole bunch of extra dice to roll for that.
Remember, you add your strength on the damage of this weapon as well.
Correct. So that is going to be 11 damage.
Yeah, he's sliced in half. But you pull it through his body, using your cloven foot most probably to kick it off the revving blade.
Indeed.
Spraying blood everywhere.
Indeed, and he does rev that blade, spraying some of the blood into his mouth, and he shouts out, "Blood for the God Emperor!"
Excellent. There's still obviously people there shooting, firing their auto pistols. One of them is going to take a pot shot as Weir is darting through the tombstones towards him. And oh my, what's Weir's defense?
4.
4? Really? 4?
Yeah. With the plus 1?
He's definitely hit you.
Okay.
I got 6 successes and a 6 on the wrath die. So it's a critical hit as well.
Alrighty.
This will be with a regular auto pistol as well. So that's a 6. I can't shift. No, I can shift 1 into extra damage. That's definitely 2 extra damage. But first of all, let's roll for the damage.
Yep.
So that's 8 points of damage at you.
All right, and my resilience is 3.
Okay. So obviously you can make a determination test if you want.
I will happily do so.
Your toughness rating, basically.
Yeah, I get a
You
bonus.
roll it. And then we get a critical hit happening on where?
3.
3. Okay, so you ignore 3 points of damage, but take 3 shock.
Okay. I'm
And
fine with
then
that.
the critical hit is going to be, hopefully, fun.
They're always fun.
They're always great.
They're always great. Everything's always great. Where's the critical hit table?
198.
I have it up.
Okay, good. And the critical hit is a 16.
Oh, okay.
Oh goodness.
That is headshot.
Sorry.
Oh,
So it only does an extra 1d3 wounds, but I do
Which
get the
is-
staggered condition.
You take an extra 3 wounds.
Okay, I'm still standing.
The fake face that was stapled to your scarred visage
face.
obviously falls away, and your real face is now there. You stagger, bleeding from the temple and bracing yourself against a tombstone. The staggered condition. Let's
Yeah.
just check the conditions. I think that's not going to do too much to you.
I'm off balance. My speed is reduced by half, but it
Okay.
ends at the next round.
Okay, yeah, you can still make the distance to them.
And I still take a multi-attack.
I'm not going to let you do that. I don't think you'll have. You've got blood, pouring into your eye from this injury. You've just got you can't really see everything. There's rain pattering around you. There's mud that you're just about losing your footing in. Nah, but there is this guy that just shot at you.
Oh yeah, he's not long for this world.
The rain is sizzling on the crackling energy field around your sword.
That will be 4 icons with an exalted icon on the Wrath die. Because that's how we do these things.
So that's also a critical hit. Yeah. So you've hit. And you roll for damage, which is
Yeah.
your strength plus the extra damage. Oh, well, the strength, you roll the extra damage, add your strength, and
Yeah.
add the damage of the weapon. Which at this
AP
point,
-2 as well for this weapon.
yeah, that's kind of academic at this point.
I have 3. I have an exalted
3.
icon and another icon for the extra damage, so that's
3 extra damage on top of it
6
then.
extra damage, plus the damage of 5 for the power blade. 11 total.
He's so dead. Just roll the critical for giggles.
31,
Oh no.
which is, I believe, Merciless Strike. The blow to the foe's body steals the breath from their lungs, pulverizing their innards with a nasty crunch. They suffer a mortal wound. Well, he's already dead, so.
Yeah, he's already dead. Yeah, you run it through him and
just rip it
cleanly
out sideways.
rip it out. The rest of at this point, the rest of the bone pickers, seeing two of their gang torn to shreds, begin and exploded by bolt rounds, turn tail, seeing what is happening. At which point you have, the only one that still stays there is the one that is praying to the God Emperor, praying for mercy, praying for salvation, unaware of the death and destruction that you have committed to his gang members. What do you want to do?
New meat shield.
Yes.
No, I'm going to execute him.
Oh, okay.
I'm walking up right behind him and headshotting him.
That's actually what you do. You've just walked up casually and you put the bolt
Yep.
pistol to his skull and pull the trigger.
Yep.
Yeah, everyone witnesses Stardica execute someone. Obviously, you're not going to complain or even begin to chastise the commissar.
No, I'll compliment her. Well done, Danny. Well done. I'm impressed by your bloodlust.
Getting concerned
High
about
five,
Rufio.
Rufio.
Rufio, if you want, it would suit you. You're the one person that would likely do this. You can there are things you can pick up off the bodies. There is ammunition. There is auto pistol ammunition. There is an auto pistol. You wouldn't want their close combat weapons. They're crude clubs and like ragged pieces of metal made into blades. However, on Diomedes, if anyone wants to pilfer his body, on his possessions,
We got to get those keys.
on his body,
Yep.
in his possession is obviously the keys to his vehicle and a hand cannon, which is not the greatest of weapons. It's a hand cannon's just like a dirty, one big slug gun shot that you have to keep. You have to reload after each shot, but it makes a big boom. There's also a shotgun, and there are some frag grenades.
Nice.
What do you think he was saving all this for?
So whoever wants to take possession of frag grenades, a shotgun, and a hand cannon, by all means do so.
I can take the hand grenades. I'm probably pretty good at throwing those.
I figured you'd want those. I will grab the keys since I was watching him drive the vehicle.
Yeah, I do want to point out that since we don't have ID Fortran with us, this is the one session where Rufio's tech skill can actually shine. I might actually be able to fix this thing.
Nice.
Nice.
Excellent.
Fantastic.
Can I heal?
Yeah. Sorry. That's a weird card to come out of the
I
lamp.
can heal you.
Yes, I have one wound away from dying.
Yeah.
I have Medicaid.
Yeah,
You can make a Medicaid test.
I will need it too.
All right, children, line up. Who's first?
Poke my head out from behind the gravestone. Is it over yet?
Let's see. Wounds, damage, resting. We've got resting, regroup, respite. Okay, seeking a safe place to rest for a long period of time is often the best thing to do. Okay, you need at least 6 hours to do that, so you can't really do that. Regroup is a short period of downtime lasting approximately 1 hour. You're not going to have a chance to do that. That is when you are allowed to do a Medicaid roll to do any healing.
You have to.
You would have to rest, and you don't really have time, especially if you don't know where those bone pickers are going. They might be bringing reinforcements.
Maybe we can
let's get to the crypt.
Yeah, we'll get
head
to
to
the
crypt.
mausoleum, and then we'll take a regroup.
Yeah.
You're going to have to all make a further survival test. Again, you are trudging through mud. You see the walls of mausoleums crumbling away, spilling from their ottery numerous bones and skulls of ancient heroes long forgotten.
Be constantly obsessing over this little graze and being like, "Oh, is it bad? Do you think it'll leave a scar?" And so, trying to check my reflection in puddles.
We're with
like
an
because I can
furrow in his skull just turns him loopsy.
Yeah,
with
exactly.
no skin on his face.
If you want a scar, then when I sew you up, then yeah, I can leave a scar.
So as long as everyone gets success, I'm happy.
Yep,
So
I got
success.
Do I get anything for 8 icons?
Wow.
Party handshake, pat on the back.
Yeah. 8 icons on a survival test. That's impressive. And we roll for another boneyard encounter.
Oh, I got a 6 on my ref die for that survival.
Oh, that's kind of cool. As you carry along the route that was described to you by the late Diomedes, you come upon there's basically, as it reads, some wealthy nobles commission the construction of servitors to guard their ancestral tombs. The biological components of these guardians decompose slowly, and though they may have exposed bones, they still obey their commands to protect. The bone servitors attack anyone trespassing in the boneyards. Oh dear. So the route you are passing through as you walk along, you hear the whirring of these servitors. They're adorned in like Baroque armor that has various iconography and heraldry upon them. And one of them, you actually can see the water in some puddle ripple a moment. It's not a T-Rex. It's a gun servitor walking towards you, brandishing. In one hand, it has a servo arm that could easily crush the skull of a man. And in the other arm, it has, well, its other arm is not there. Instead, it has attached to it a rather of good construction, though of course it's been exposed to the elements for so long, a heavy bolter. It turns towards you. Trespassers, you are interlopers in the domain of the Galfredus mausoleums. State your name and permission. Provide protocol now. Obviously, it sounds like Arnold Schwarzenegger when it says all of this.
Nice.
Or maybe more RoboCop might be good. Yeah.
I was thinking ED-209 from RoboCop,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yes, actually, yes.
Oh,
You have
we
10
the
seconds to
keys.
comply.
We have the keys,
You have the keys.
right? Didn't we have the keys or some sort of
You do
significant
have
that-
you. Yeah, you
Yeah.
did pilfer the keys, and I guess Danica. I mean, you will as a commissar understand various command codes of Imperial level. You could give it. Perhaps you were able to give a. You've got to remember your badge of office and everything. Maybe that might work on it.
All right, I will do that.
Yeah, just roll. I don't know. Let's say whatever represents the best way of your command ability.
Leadership.
There we go. Yeah.
All right. All right. So I have 3 regular icons, 2 exalted icons, and an exalted icon on the rat die.
Oh yeah. Okay. You rattle off your rank, your number, your various imperial codes, and the servitor begins to cogitate and calculate, and there's a few blinking lights on it, and then it steps away and it lowers the gun from pointing at you. Command codes accepted. Let me lead you to the tomb you are looking for, Commissar Danica.
Thank you.
Incognito.
We're not supposed to call her Commissar right now. If you could
She
keep
gets
that.
really angry.
At this point, I'm just glad he's not shooting.
The servitor, this guardian servitor, starts leading the way to the exact mausoleum complex you're looking for, because of course the Galfredus family is rather large and there are some smaller areas that it's protecting. So you're really on the outskirts of the entire collection of tombs, and it leads you towards the necropolis. So, though you are far from Barastir, the necropolis is rather hard to miss. The monsoon rains are pouring heavily, and you arrive, and there is a 20-meter high wall that's rather easy to see, and equally high gates that are and upon it the rusted crest of the Galfredus family. For all around, these are perhaps the most impressive crypts you have seen, especially with these towering walls. The gates of the necropolis, of course, are locked and were locked long ago, though the constant rain has corroded the metal. You need to open the gates, and of course you do have the means to open them. The servitor, having led you here, stands at attention, waiting to accept further protocols before continuing protection of Galfredus Mausoleum and Necropolis Complex.
We are anticipating others to be arriving. They are not to be let in.
Acknowledged. We'll return to station and proceed with Command 0 Red 13. Status Exterminatus.
Oh, no.
And it stomps off in that direction.
Murderbot, go!
That'll do it, yeah.
All right, well, I open the gate.
You hear a few heavy bolter rounds fired, and then the servitor basically speaks for itself. Assessment protocol complete. Heavy bolter is functional, and continues walking in the direction.
Awesome. Yep. So I open the gate, get
Yep.
us all in, shut and lock the gate behind us,
Excellent.
and let's hole ourselves up into the mausoleum.
So the necropolis itself is not empty, because around it there are a number of flames being tended to on the outside of the main tomb and on the walls, and you basically have a number of servo skulls that go from each flame, and they're either they're refilling the oil to keep these flames alight, or they're relighting them, and they are doing this constantly. They have been doing this task for millennia, or for thousands of years. Yeah, I mean, for example, the Flame Keeper is you as you notice one float by, each one has a nameplate like pinned into the skull that reveals its name and how they were a manservant of a particular noble. And the one that floats by says it was owned by Anculus Aval and was the trusted manservant of Augustus Galfredus. And you're able just to watch it, kind of peer at it as it attends to another flame that it has to refill the oil to and light once more, which of course is a endless task on this world with the constant rain. But you are into beyond the gates and into the necropolis itself, and as you enter, you realize there are a number of other equally resplendent gun servitors that you have met, like the one you've met previously.
Okay. And do they take any notice of us?
They haven't noticed you yet, though you might wish to be subtle and move by them. You do not know what their command protocols are. Obviously, the one that you met is simply defending the entire network of tombs and mausoleums here, but this one is for a particular noble of the Galfredus. So
are we looking for Augustus?
Sorry?
Are we looking for Augustus's tomb?
He's the one that's in this tomb.
Okay, but he's not the one we're possibly looking for.
No.
Okay.
It's never the first tomb.
No, it is not. All right, we need to find...
It might be in Augustus. Let me just check what was on your data slate.
I can't remember. I didn't write it down.
I didn't write that part down either.
It went by so fast.
I just wrote Tomb Complex.
Tomb Complex.
No, there was no particular. So there's numerous people. So there'll be one, branch of the family, one particular, particularly more renowned members of the family are maybe in this particular tomb complex. And yes, they'll be heavily guarded by these by more gun servitors to protect them from people like the bone pickers that you met earlier.
All right.
Well, if only we had somebody here who could find things real easily.
And it is Augustus's tomb you're looking for in particular.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Hey, Rufio. How's that tech going?
How's my tech going? I mean, I can repair that car later, maybe. Probably. I can definitely repair that car later. Yeah, I'm not sure what other tech you need me to do here.
Talking to the servo that is the previous servant to Augustus.
Yeah, let me check. So there's no computer. So tech
also would be the one.
Also consists of computer stuff. Okay, yeah, I know a little bit. Being a tactical officer for the rogue trader, it's really important work. Sometimes I reprogram the weapon systems. This can't be that much different.
You do have a point of glory you can spend.
This can't be that much different.
Let's see.
And actually, I got 5 icons, including an exalted icon on the wrath die.
Excellent.
Yay!
I think that's good enough. You are able to quietly make your way over to the Flame Keeper, this servo skull, and you begin to speak to it in a manner asking, using particular command codes. And it begins to, it begins to reply in a way. It stops its recorded prayer that it recites as it lights each flame. As it's suspended there in the midair, the skull turns towards you with its little flame that comes out from one of its ocular cybernetic augmentations, and it turns to regard the beastman. I am the one known as the Flame Keeper. State. What would it say? State your requisition.
Danny, what do you want to ask? I'll see if I can translate it.
Where is Augustus's tomb?
Aren't we in it?
No, we're in
You're in- You're in a
courtyard.
necropolis. Yeah. You're in a
Oh, okay,
courtyard.
my bad. Okay. So my roughly, I'll say something like Flamekeeper must locate Augustus's tomb.
The server skull waits there. Its red eye blinking. It puffs out a bit of flame every so often because it's obviously just doing that because its programming is ancient. The tomb of Augustus Goffredus is found toward the north end of the necropolis. Keystone of the arch that forms the entranceway has gargoyle imagery. Row 3, section 5-7.
Good. Flamekeeper, can you ensure that any guardian servitors know of our entrance into the tomb and will comply with any orders given by us?
Please provide full command protocol from Galfreda's family.
Okay. Well, I think if I yank this cord right here, that might do something. And then if I reposition that over here, that might short circuit this whole process. Let me see what I can do with this
The whole servitor
servitor.
skull is like fights against you as you yank out one and open up the side of its machinery, its cogitator. You hotwire the servitor skull, and then it starts floating again. Command protocols accepted. Servitors have been issued passive mode. Please
Excellent.
follow me towards Augustus Galfredus' tomb.
Sure, lead the way. I think we're all good
It
here.
floats off with you guys following as you walk past a good half dozen gun servitors, all housed in their own little tombs, as it were, protected from the rain. And you see just what horrible weaponry they have. Some have massive buzzsaws. One is brandishing a multi-melter. You can never cheapskate out on protection of your tomb.
Yeah, I guess these guys were loaded.
That is a good call, Rufio. All right.
Were they expecting to attack this place?
I think once we get to the
Raiders?
tomb, we need to reactivate those, though.
You make your way to Augustus Galfredus' tomb, and it is a small tower in the direction which the servo skull has led you to and suggested you head to. And again, the keystone of the arch has this large gargoyle that looms down with water dripping from its face. You can all make awareness tests.
I got a hot nothing.
where you stop everyone dead in their tracks as you point out that the gargoyle itself houses in its mouth a gun. The gargoyle itself is a decomposing gun servitor that is built into the archway of the tomb entrance.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I did
is
get a
it-
6 on my wrath die.
I got a 1 on my wrath die.
Oh gosh.
Oh no, you take a step forward a little too far, and there's a few random shots fired in your direction, but they don't hit you. But the gun servitor is now fully active and is no longer in its passive mode. You watch its beady red eye pointing in your direction as it's tracking and tracing
Is it
a zone which, if you entered it, clearly is the kill zone.
do I think a stealth roll I could sneak beneath it and disable it via power blade?
Potentially so, yeah.
Weir, maybe you can go up on the roof and just get it from behind. That might be even easier.
That'll be 6 with 3 exalted icons, one of which is the wrath die.
Yeah, you time it right as it's scanning from left to right, and you dart into the archway of the beneath it, the entrance of the tomb, and you can see looking up into it, and yeah, you just jam that power sword as hard as you can straight up. There's some sparks, some whirring, and then the gargoyle is once more inert as it powers down.
Awesome. All right, let's head on in.
We'll tell them it was like that when we got here.
The inside
Yeah.
of the crypt, of course, is damp water leaking in from above and unlit. There are candles, the remains of candles that may have been lit at one point, but of course no longer can withstand the water damage that has seeped in. There is a stairway that winds around the tower, both up and down, and the upper staircase has collapsed. And again, there is more rain dripping down from what small windows there are. And the staircase itself is, good quality ceramite, well, not ceramite, but plastisteel, but it's slick and covered in some places by, mold or mildew or moss that has grown up over it. So if you want to head down there, you're going to have to be very careful because it's very slippy and rickety. So you will have to make some athletics tests not to slip down and slide down a staircase and break something, because that would be terrible.
All right.
That's where the servitor's going.
I will once more hover rather than
Yeah,
try.
right.
I got a
very
6 on
definitely
the
not
wrath
athletic.
die.
Excellent. You can shift that 6 into the glory pool then.
I will do that.
One
You've got more
icon, one exalted icon.
Excellent. And Rufio is okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Definitely okay.
You descend down these dank, dark staircase with the eternal flame, the flame keeper servitor, guiding you down. Its flame, it makes it a bit brighter, a bit hotter to illuminate the way. And you enter the narthex. The narthex is a circular chamber, 30 meters in diameter, and within it, at the center, is a sarcophagus. You open the door, and whoever's going first to open the door, because the servo skull can't open a door. And as you open the door, there is muddy water that spills in from that chamber into the tunnel, into the staircase, bottom of the staircase where you are. And you'll notice that water is dripping down from above through cracks in the stone floor, and obviously seeping in from the sides. The very weather of Daedalus does not allow for these tombs to withstand moisture for too long. From the light from the Flamekeeper, you can see that there are numerous carvings of Imperial heroes on the walls, winged saints brandishing flaming swords, or there are Imperial warriors or imagery of the Emperor defeating demons and dragons. It is, at the height of its time, it would have been glorious. The white alabaster walls would have been resplendent, but now, of course, are weathered and worn. The sarcophagus itself is at the center. And if you want, and you assume, I guess you assume, and it says on there that this is the tomb of Augustus.
Make
Mariana
awareness.
We'll approach the tomb and open it if nobody else will.
I want to make an awareness roll. Kind of just
Okay.
make sure there's no traps. Nasty stuff waiting.
Of course, make an awareness test then.
Like we should offer a prayer or something before we go robbing from this poor dead noble.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what Sister Mariana here is going to do. She knows how to like sanctify corpses and stuff, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, where you look up and you see that hidden at the far end of the chamber, opposite the entrance you came in from, there is some sort of collection. You thought initially it's more like a gargoyle, maybe some sort of imagery of a demon. No, that is no carving. That is no sculpture.
No.
That is yet another servitor. Well, you would say servitor, but it's got multiple limbs, multiple heads, and worse, there are weapons and attachments and perhaps even limbs that don't even look imperial, human in nature.
I will reach out a hand, stop Sister. Point it out.
Excellent. Good catch, Weir. Mr. Rufio, would you disable this servitor before we awaken it?
Yeah, I can do that. Okay, I think this is gonna have to be really careful here. Okay, I'm just gonna have to step forward and gonna have to gingerly yank this cable out of its brain. And Sister Mariana, you can say a prayer to the God Emperor. Someone else can say a prayer to the machine spirit, and we'll see if this works. Everyone, it doesn't work. That is a 1 on the wrath die.
You
Roll?
inadvertently cause this thing to power up. It looks at you with numerous beady red eyes. Basically, think the Borg, but lots of red laser dots all come to life, pointing at each of you. All of the dots converging or pointing at your foreheads, and you hear, chains of ammunition being brought into, or weapons powering on, and this garbled voice through whichever face or mask or xeno skull that is talking. You have entered the Galfredus tomb of Augustus Galfredus. You shall pay for your sins in blood.
Okay, so Rufio, as this thing is talking, tries to grapple with it and move its like laser dots and I assume guns away from the rest of the party.
Right. Okay. I need to just check one thing with it because it is a big creature, basically.
I'm as strong as a space marine.
You're as strong as a space marine.
In power.
We'll see if that works out here.
That just sounds like something Rufio says to himself at night, like curled up in a corner. I'm as strong as a space marine.
Yeah.
Do we still have the other servitor?
No.
No.
The
Okay.
keeper of the
Damn it.
eternal flame.
Oh, you've got the little servo skull. He's not going to do anything. He's just going to watch. He's got no guns. He's just here to light candles. That's actually what he's doing right now. You can notice, oh, there's some candles I've not lit in ages. I'm going to light them. Yeah, so
Have protocols to turn it off.
in effect, the thing that you're fighting counts as like a giant kind of like is a mob itself.
Mhm.
So for each of you, it counts as having 3 components. So if it was or higher tier, you should add more. So I'm going to say it has 4 components because you're all tier 2 characters. So that means it has in total 20 components, which means it's going to have that much wounds and quite a lot of actions that are going on. It will be attacking quite a lot. Yeah, okay. So let me see what it can do. So it counts as a mob when you fight it, basically. So so anything that would affect a mob, you get the bonus for. So if you unleash your bolt pistol or anything, you can attack it as if it was a mob. Though, of course, as a mob, it will be attacking back similarly.
Well, this is awkward. Rufio's still trying to do his action.
Yeah, so Rufio, I think, is doing his action and is caught by surprise as it powers up and begins to brandish its strange cleaving blades of xeno origin. So I will let someone else have an action before it acts.
I'm gonna pull out my bolt pistol and shoot it.
Excellent. That would be a good idea. You are attacking a mob, so do you wish to use get the benefit for attacking a mob?
Yes.
Yes. Let's see then. So it was the shooting at a mob. Spray shot versus mob. If you target a mob with a multi-attack action, you can use a spray shot as a full round action. Every point of ammo you spend reduces the multi-attack difficulty number by -2. There's no limit. So basically, you can spend an ammo, and you will reduce your attack difficulty by -2 when you're firing a full auto, and it's got defense. So that's not really going to help you too much as well on this. But you're targeting a mob, so this is the first time we've done a mob, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I need to remember some things. Mobs. A mob is a group of near identical targets. Yeah, example, blah, blah, blah. Each one's going to have that many wounds. Attack options, full defense, cooled shot, no. All attack, no. I'm just trying to remember all the weird little bits in there. Just fire as normal and we'll figure it out.
That's fine. All right. I have 5 successes, 1 exalted icon, and 2 exalted icons.
Okay, so yeah, it's got a defense of 1, so you've hit. Okay, so when you fire against a mob, if your icons equal the mob's defense, you hit and roll damage as normal. If you do more damage than the mob's resilience, your target dies. If your icons exceed the mob's defense, you hit extra individuals. Each icon you roll over the mob's defense counts as a hit against another target. The extra targets are chosen by the GM, and you roll damage for each of them. So basically, you're rolling damage against each individual hit that you get with the bolt pistol that's firing. So as I said, it's got a defense of 1, and you got how many successes on the hit?
I have 5 total successes.
There, so you hit 5 targets as you're unleashing hell with your bolt pistol.
All right.
So you get to roll 5 times for doing damage against it. They've got a resilience of 8. What's the damage on a bolt pistol?
10.
Oh, 10. Okay. So we can happily say with each shot that you're firing, you explode explode a portion of this strange, multi-limbed, multi-bodied servitor Frankenstein monster of contraption. Blood, bone, orgometics, and oil spraying everywhere. It screeches and squeals in a strange voice as each part of it dies, yet still there are limbs slashing and wailing. I am going to spend a point of ruin because it has a special ability, and it will fight back. It will do its return fire, and it will return fire at you. Whenever it's immediate attack, it causes damage. The target's defense is increased by 2 for this attack. So your defense goes up by 2, so that's 3. And it will be attacking you with its Xenoblaster, which I need to roll to hit with. What's it got? Ballistic skill of 4. Okay, I'm going to add... but it's a mob, so I'm going to roll a couple of extra dice to represent the fact the mob is firing. So basically it's multiple Xenoblasters are just firing all these strange energy weapons, lighting up the place as they fire. And that gives us only 2 successes, so it still misses as the statues and carvings are blown apart and pulverized and incinerated by the strange exotic energy weapons that are being fired off. Someone else can now make a action.
Question.
So, yes, I had a question too, but please, Ian, go ahead. Go first.
If Rufio is attempting to grapple it, do I get a bonus to hit it?
Not really, because like I said, there's multiple limbs, multiple arms, multiple bodies, heads.
Okay.
You know, Rufio's basically holding on like he's grabbing onto like this large, well, I would say serpent, but really what we're dealing with is the 40k equivalent of the human centipede with guns.
Okay, that's what I wanted to hear. So it's very insect-like. Okay.
Yes.
And that's what we can see as the candles are being lit around us by our friend servitor.
Yes.
Okay. What Rufio I think wants to do, he does want to make this an easier target for everyone, and he is as strong as a space marine. So I would like Rufio to attempt to basically pick this thing up and just kind of like flip it over, like get underneath it and just kind of try to turn this thing over and put it off balance. Which actually, wait, I think I have an ability for. I can Dirty Fighter, shift to exalted icons to give something either blinded, prone, restrained, or staggered.
Okay, so what would be the combat action you're doing then? Is there a grapple action? I guess there should be somewhere.
Yeah, so I could do this with a weapon skill check, but I'm better at athletics, so I'd like to just make an athletics roll.
Yeah,
and,
sure. It'll be contested against its own strength and athletics. In this case, we'll actually use its basic strength rather than its default pool for all its skills. Its basic strength is 8. So this is going to be a good challenge.
So
This
it's
is
also
gonna be
as strong as the Space Marine is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, pretty much. We're gonna use some wrath to re-roll that. All right, that's the ticket. Rufio got 7 icons, including 2 which are exalted, which I would like to shift to restrain my opponent.
I got in total 6 icons in total, 6 successes in total.
Okay. I would like to check the ruling on Dirty Fighter to see if I need to actually be successful to apply my condition. Please bear with me, everyone, as Rufio is struggling against the multi-limbs of this vicious human gun centipede.
It just says whenever you make an interaction attack and you shift to exalted icons, you can inflict your target with an additional condition.
Indeed. So I will shift.
Successful.
I will shift 2 icons 2 exalted icons to
Yeah, but you've got to still have enough successes to perform the grapple, right?
so I'm not grappling it then, but I have flipped it over.
It's an interaction attack. That's what you're saying. It's not a
Mhm.
grapple. It's an yeah. So in that case, then it's different, I guess. So yeah, you succeed. You flip it over. It's multiple limbs, thrashing in the water, and it fires off randomly. It's a xenoblaster, and so as a result, then it's what happens to it? Is it staggered or what's the condition?
I think I get to choose, but I think staggered would make the most sense right here because I'm not going to be able to restrain it. I'm pretty sure.
Because staggered will mean that it can't move around and you can't run or sprint. So you don't want that. I think you want either vulnerable, which is -1 to its defense, or prone, which is your defense is reduced by 2 against attack made by threat within 5 meters. You want prone.
Yeah, we want prone then, which makes sense in this situation.
Yeah.
Just knowing what different keywords mean.
It essentially won't be able to do too much because it's going to have to spend an action to get up. So the mob has to get up. That's what you've done to it. Cool. I won't be able to spend its ruin to do a return fire against anyone because, I don't think it makes sense. It's just firing off randomly as it's doing that. So someone else has now got an opening. You've just watched Rufio flip over this giant scarab-like creature, this automaton, this servitor. It's thrashing away in the water. I'm sure someone wants to dive in with a power blade, or equivalent.
So you said that. So with the way multi-attacks work against a mob, is every success over its base defense is an extra hit.
You can use a multi-attack against a mob to target multiple individuals of your choice. So what we're saying is it's different if you were shooting. So with the all-out shooting, Danica did it because she used up an ammo to get that ability. Instead, you use a multi-attack, but when you test a hit as part of a multi-attack against a mob, each icon over the target's defense means you hit an additional target in the mob as well. So yes, it's similar.
And I believe you mentioned this is 1.
Its defense is pretty much 0 now.
Perfect.
Did you roll a
2, 4, 6, 8, 10 with a 6?
Okay.
On the wrath die.
Okay.
I rolled.
I mean, we know with the power swords and resilience, we really. You rolled a 6 on the wrath die.
I rolled 5 6s.
And
total.
did you roll 6 on the wrath die?
That includes the 6 on the wrath die. Yes.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, we don't really need to roll for damage here at this moment. You are pretty much just like you are taking legs off a spider as you are slicing away limbs, arms, weapons on it. You've basically halved the amount of body mass that it has as you tear it apart. The crackling energy blades slicing through metal and bone with equal ease. And but it's still there, it's still thrashing around, trying to claw its way to get back up. You realize as you do this, some strange fluid that bubbles from all the wounds, from tanks that are built within the body cavities, and as they leach out, begin to illuminate the narthex in a strange kind of luminous, let's just say blue. Making it much easier to see and thus much easier to fight.
Convenient.
So someone else that has an opportunity to attack because obviously it is still thrashing around.
Just delimbing
it. Does Annette or Mariana want to step in?
Mariana will step in. Yes. She also, in addition to her faith, does have her bolt pistol, so she will go ahead and shoot it while it's down.
Put a booted foot on one of its body parts and just full auto into it.
Okay, that is 1, 2, 3 icons and an exalted icon.
Yeah. Okay. So you hit again numerous body parts of it. And the damage again on a bolt pistol is ridiculous against it. So yes, you shred entire sections of it. There's not much left of it as it begins to kind of try and claw its way apart. And as it does so, you watch as sinew and bone pulls apart, and the only bit of it that's still operational is about maybe the size of two people stitched together or bolted together, again seeping this noxious fluid until it then just finally collapses, leaking the glowing ichor everywhere. You destroyed this strange contraption quite interestingly, quite easily, thanks to Rufio just flipping it over and preventing it from like essentially being able to return fire. Right. As you look with it dead and the chamber now glowing blue thanks to its blood, if we call it that, you can make your way over to the sarcophagus and attempt to open it, which is not going to be too difficult. Oh yeah, that's a good point. We should really take a break. This would be a good point to take a break, actually. So we'll call it there for about 10-15 minutes.
Okay.
We'll be back shortly.
Fantastic.
And we're back. We are in the narthex of Augustus Galfredo's tomb, and the group, the cadre, has just destroyed the Guardian Amalgamation, a strange construction, a servitor-type automaton made of xenos and human remains, weaponry, armor, and various other bits. Yes. So you're in this chamber, illuminated by its glowy blue ichor, fluid, blood, whatever it counts. And before you is the tomb of Galfredo. Who's going to open the tomb?
Sister Mariana will. She will perform the proper rites and functions to unseal the tomb.
Okay. Yes, okay. You slide the top of the tomb off, and before you is a skeleton in ratty, decaying clothing. And you assume that this is Augustus Galfredo. And there is no sign of the Revelator.
Oh shit! Do we just destroy the Revelator? Because that'd be really awkward.
What is a
Oh, I
Revelator?
hope not.
The Revelator is looks like a small, jar or glass or wine decanter was the description. It has a silvery metallic finish with strange engravings upon it.
I'm going to take a look around the room.
Don't think it's in here.
Nope.
Sister Mariana, can you just roll reflectively your Medicae skill? And yes, anyone else doing stuff?
Can we roll investigation?
Two
Yeah, you
icons.
can make an investigation roll.
Okay.
Already had one bunch of gear hidden inside a corpse this adventure. I wouldn't be surprised if there was another.
Sister Mariana got 2 icons on her Medicaid roll.
2 exalted icons.
No. Just 2 regular
Oh,
icons.
2. Okay,
2
yeah.
successes.
2 successes, yeah. Yes, you can tell that there are a few stones where not they're loose, but you can hear dripping of water from the chamber you're in into a chamber below. So you listen against the wall of the chamber, and you can hear dripping, and you get a sense it must be somewhere below.
Oh, there's some sort of hidden staircase somewhere. Or some way to get below.
Is it underneath the skeleton?
There might be some way of getting underneath the skeleton if you handle it and move the skeleton out of the way. Maybe.
Yeah, Sister Mariana's handled a corpse or 2 in her time, so yeah.
Okay.
She'll look beneath it.
You start tapping at, because the inside of the tomb itself, of course, has no water in there. There's no water seeped into the tomb, and yeah, it sounds hollow. There is something beneath.
Rufio will try to push the sarcophagus to the side.
Okay, you're gonna definitely need to make a strength test then.
Yeah, because he's as strong as a Space Marine that's not in
Wearing its
power armor,
armor.
as we confirmed on the break. That's 5 icons total.
Okay, you start pushing the sarcophagus, and as you do so, your cloven feet, as they dig into the stones beneath you, the sarcophagus doesn't move, but the stones under your feet do, and you lose your footing and fall with the rushing of water with you into the chamber beneath this chamber. You are in the lower narthex. Everyone else is just stood above looking down this hole as Rufio is flat on his back with water pouring in onto him as he is in another dark chamber, which seems quite similar to the one that you were in above.
As elegant as ever, Mr. Rufio.
Yeah.
That was active problem solving. All right,
Yeah.
let's head on down. Are you okay?
I'm great, Danny. Thanks for asking. Nothing hurt but my pride.
Something smells terrible down.
Oh yeah, it smells really rank down there. As you look around, there is the narthex. The lower narthex is the same size as the chamber above, and at one end of the chamber, because it's circular, there is a there's a door that you assume is more than likely locked. It seems as if the tomb above may well have been a fake.
That's pretty weird. So the door's locked?
Yeah, you can try the door, and it is locked, yes.
The key.
You could either... the key worked for the main gates, the necropolis. Whether it works for the door is another thing entirely.
Only one way to find out.
Yeah, go for it.
Only one way to find out.
And it doesn't work.
Okay. I got some frag grenades.
Or you could break the door open. You could break it open.
And I
Again, Rufio is as strong as a Space Marine outside of its armor.
Yeah, can we?
As he keeps saying.
Not use frag grenades to break in?
Sure. Do you have something a more finesseful way of getting in? Or maybe our psyker friend here has some interesting. Is the lady also did she just float down here?
Yes.
Of course. There's so much water in here.
Yeah.
I'm not getting my feet wet. But alas, no. I'm a psyker, not a lockpick.
Okay.
Damn it, Jim.
Yeah. I could invoke luck. I can make someone else have some luck if you're going to try and pry this thing open. But I myself can't.
I mean, I think Weir might know something. I guess Rufio probably knows about picking crude locks and the like. Although this is probably some impressive workmanship here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not going to be any simple lock.
Yeah,
So,
definitely not.
I have two questions, or one two-part question. What would the skill be to pick the lock? Alternatively, could I just cut the lock out with my power blade?
To pick the lock is stealth.
Oh, okay.
And to use the power blade is you're trying to damage the door. So essentially,
Literally
you're
just cut
trying
the
to
lock
carve
out of
it.
the door.
Yeah, you're trying to carve it open.
Which do I... so I have a decent stealth, obviously. Which do I feel will be more quick / effective?
I think you can mostly unpick the lock. You could pick the lock and you'd be okay.
Oh, nice. I kneel down and start fiddling with it, and I got 4 icons.
4 icons. Okay. You haven't. It doesn't budge. You need need to try again.
Shall I invoke luck by gazing into the future to try and see what the correct
I could also
tweaking is? Maybe there's a key under the mat. Who knows?
I could also spend a point of wrath and reroll.
You could do that. That would be good.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yeah.
6.
No.
more.
3 more. There you go. Yeah. You unpick the lock, and yes, the door opens up, and within is a small room housing an ornate sarcophagus, and it is totally dry within there. The wall engravings are different to those that you saw above. Whereas above you saw resplendent imagery of the Imperium, of the God Emperor and his saints and heroes. Here is true blasphemy. The walls show iconography and scenes of humans trading technology with alien species. These aliens are all manner of shapes and sizes and colors, and certainly are all deserving of death and destruction. They are, yes. There are also carvings depicting them in impossible shapes that seem to shift through dimensions as you try and look at them, as you move around them. The statue is almost like it's a different thing, a different shape, has different number of limbs. Some of them look like they have many eyes that watch you as you move into the chamber.
Did any of us ever research into what this Galfredi family did? Were they like rival rogue traders, or
we didn't get the opportunity? We were told we were coming down here, then we were drugged and woke up down here.
Jeez, I think we might have walked into a bit of a political spat or some sort of a rivalry here.
Is anyone particularly interested in the carvings and images? Yeah, okay. Where's okay, everyone's interested. Barring Danica.
Yeah, I need to figure out what's going on here.
Okay.
Yeah, Rufio's just pondering in the corner.
So if you think you're going to take some time looking at the imagery and carvings and other things to try and ascertain what's going on, you're all going to need to make a corruption test.
Oh.
Wait. I can help with this. Hold on. Hold on.
What do we roll for a corruption?
Yeah, what do we roll for that?
I am again looking because I never remember. There we go. Corruption tests. Corruption test. To resolve a corruption test, you must let's see. To resist corruption, roll a dice pool equal to your conviction.
However, because you were traveling with Sister Mariana, you and allies within 15 meters, which I'm assuming encompasses this entire tiny little room,
of course,
gain plus double rank bonus dice to corruption tests.
That's a lot of dice.
That is a lot of dice.
Also, you gain plus double rank bonus dice to any test to resist the use of a psychic power, comma, psyker.
Blessed be
That's pretty
Sister
good.
Mariana.
That's pretty good. It means Annette can, like, with ease in some respects, can do deny the witch on other people, as long as Sister Mariana is nearby.
So it was conviction, is that right?
Yeah. So Sister Mariana and Annette are like the super team for like telling rogue psychers to like do one.
I have 6.
I'm only interested in people that fail this roll.
But
obviously.
I got a 1 on the wrath die.
Oh,
Good
yes.
Sister Mariana, of course, is perfectly fine. Her faith is unshaken.
Yeah, I got 7 successes, so I'm good.
I have 2 exalted icons, 2 more regular icons, but I got a 1 on the wrath die. So
Rufio got 5 icons, but secretly, I think he wants to fail.
Blood for the Blood Emperor. I was going to see about rolling my psi sense, which lets me detect the presence of the warp when glaring at this thing, to see if is it just of alien non-Euclidean nature, or is it
Oh yeah,
actually
it's
warp
definitely it's definitely non-Euclidean in nature, potentially warp related as well. Yes. If you fail a corruption test, you gain 1 point of corruption, and I gain a point. So I'm definitely going to add a point of ruin to my pool because of that Weir's test. That's fine.
So did he fail that test?
He didn't fail it. If you roll a complication on a corruption test and fail the test, you gain double the amount of corruption points you would normally gain. If you roll a wrath critical on a corruption test, the difficulty number of the corruption test is reduced by 2. So I'm just going to give myself a ruin point in effect for that.
Nothing happens to me, but you get a ruin.
Yeah, I get to spend.
Oh no, it'll happen to you. Don't worry.
Yeah,
it's coming.
What? So actually, what is corruption?
Corruption is what builds up, and eventually, as you get enough of it, causes mutations in you, and you are easier to influence by the ruinous powers. Because Rufio starts off with some corruption because he's a dirty mutant.
No, I don't start off with any corruption. I just start off with a bunch of mutations.
Oh, well, that's the same thing.
Yeah. But for the corruption levels, mine's currently at 0.
Okay.
So obviously there's this sarcophagus, and Annette is looking for presence of the warp. Did she detect the warp?
One, it's, oh gosh, okay. 6 icons.
Okay.
No.
You can sense it. It's coming from the sarcophagus, and you almost feel slightly compelled to lift the lid of the sarcophagus as you're drawn towards it. Mm-hmm. And as it slides off, within is the rotting corpse of Augustus Galfredus, and he is in his fine regal imperial clothing and finery. Held within his skeletal hands is the metallic bottle with a strange, almost organic shape, because it's basically a Klein jar, covered in glowing runes that constantly shift as you look at it. You feel almost compelled to keep looking at it to try and understand it more, as if the runes are trying to move out of sight. This is the Revelator.
I'll grab, like, is the corpse wearing like a cloak or something?
It is wearing a cloak, yes.
Okay. I will, knowing fine well as a psyker not to mess with, don't stare too long into the void because it tends to stare back. I will quickly rip that off and wrap the Revelator up in that, and warn the party. I found it, but avert your eyes. Be cautious around this thing. It's not quite as simple as it appears.
Okay. Right. With the Revelator in hand, what do you want to do? Remember, your goal is to return the Revelator to Mendat's the Interrogator. So really, the only route out is back up through the mausoleum and to find somewhere to use the stalker flare to call down Mendax and her dropship to pick you up.
Do we trust them with this heretical xeno artifact?
But you don't trust me?
No, you of course have
Oh,
proven
okay.
yourself to be incapable of causing any offense or harm. No, I was referring to Mindex. Do we trust them? This is a powerful artifact.
Yeah, my mind's a bit foggy, but was Mendex part of the Ordo Xenos of the Inquisition? I'm not too familiar with all the different branches and various. Our storyteller just walked away, so I'll keep
We'll never
stalling
know.
here. But there are some that within this order that study the Xenos, and some of them, Sister Mariana, I'm sure you've heard the stories, become corrupted by the influence, and even they,
Yes,
as the guardians of mankind from these alien threats, they slowly become to think like them.
yes, that's my fear. We were sent to this planet, to this moon, under inauspicious circumstances. We were not dealt with plainly. Do we trust the people who sent us with this artifact?
Well, surely they have a lot of issues with consent. I'm just going to put that out there for everyone.
You can't possibly be considering going against the Inquisition. Suddenly I feel like this thing I'm holding is like a bomb. I'm like, yeah.
Mhm.
You can't possibly, speaking from experience, they do not take kindly. When they ask you to do something, you do it. You can't just we can't just not give them this. And I'm like quaking.
So here's the thing. If we are questioning this, we're questioning the daughter of Lord Veronius as well.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
Not necessarily.
So
she could have been strong-armed by the Inquisition. We don't
she
really
could
know.
have. However, is that going to actually play out in our favor if we bring it forward? That's the thing.
So for information, for those of you who are less into 40k, so there's the Inquisition, and then there are rogue traders. And to put it this way, Inquisitors and rogue traders are about on a par with each other on influence, as in they have license to do pretty much what they want in the name of the God Emperor. There will be rogue traders that will find heretical inquisitors or inquisitors they accuse of heresy and bring them down, and vice versa. There are inquisitors that will accuse rogue traders of heresy and bring them down. It is a complex and difficult relationship, given that rogue traders have carte blanche to go beyond the boundaries of the Imperium and deal with aliens and strange societies as they see fit, whereas inquisitors have carte blanche to do everything they can to stop the influence of anything non-imperial, but also there are those that will see using the very tools of the enemy against chaos, against the xenos. So it's like having two sides of the same coin, and both are capable of killing each other over petty disputes and who thinks who has authority over the situation. So that's your question: who has authority? And ultimately, your authority comes from Lord Veronius.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So we got a situation where it seems like two people are in favor of handing this over, two people are not, and Silent Weir is the tiebreaker.
Ooh.
So
So
On the other hand, we really shouldn't just leave it down here in
I
this
mean,
crypt
no,
unguarded.
it should
could-
not be left on here.
Of course not. Of course not. Especially since we've just destroyed many of its defenders.
My initial instinct is to complete our mission with fully well knowing that this is a possibility that we may face later on down the road.
It will be as the God Emperor wills it.
Out of
Well-
interest, Elaine, Annette has the ability of seeing into the future, right?
Yes, I was going to say I can do that to an object as well.
Maybe
But
as
do I
this
really?
discussion is going on, maybe you want to do this on this object.
You should absolutely do this on this horrible chaos
Horrible,
object that you have in your hand. Yeah,
chaos-tainted,
100%.
non-nuclear-
Oh yeah,
Xenos
totally
thing,
open the warp up
which-
nearby.
Might I point out, is also specifically used to navigate the warp in some capacity.
Apparently.
Apparently. Sure, why not?
Beautiful.
Spend all the glory you need.
Curiosity is indeed. So we're going to do some psychometry. Let's
Oh,
find out
shit.
how terribly this goes. Oh, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 icons, but a 1 on the wrath die.
No. Oh.
Well,
Well,
there's the TPK. There's the TPK we're all looking for.
None of us are going to remember anything she says.
Just gonna be like, okay, right. So I'm going to take the reasonable approach here, and just a quick peek, just a tiny little peek into the future to see if this thing ends up doing good or ill.
Oh my word. So psychometry. Does that allow you to see into the future as well?
Or is that just where are we?
No, that one lets you see
Oh,
into the
that's just the
past.
past. Okay.
Is it Scryer's gaze?
Okay, I don't have that.
Oh no, that's somewhere else. That's another location. So I think you want it's prescience.
The prescience.
Is
Okay, I
future
have
sight.
prescience.
Yeah, so we'll assume he's done that. So the difficulty number on that was 7.
Okay, so I got.
But you rolled a 1 on the raft as well. So,
Yeah, so
we
I
need to
passed,
resolve
but-
that as well.
Hmm.
Oh no.
Perils of the warp time.
It is time for Perils of the Warp.
Summon a greater demon into the crypt.
You just hear
We
the
didn't rest
horrible.
yet.
It's okay, a greater demon needs a host, and it's not like there's a giant monstrous pile of corpses above us or anything.
Why can I never find Perils of the Warp? Is actually at the start of psychic powers, isn't it? There we go. Perils of the Warp. Yeah. Okay, so you only rolled the 1 wrath die to invoke this, so you just need to roll a D66. I'm not rolling this. You can be the agent of your own
12.
destruction on this.
A 12.
Oh, that's okay. For a brief moment, all light sources flicker and go out.
Oh, the
So
poor
all
candle.
so all the candles above, any light sources anyone has, everything goes out. It goes completely black. And the future sight begins. So you succeeded on that. So the question is, how much information am I allowed to give you? Let's see. The effect: you peer into the depths of the warp and see past the glimmering possibilities rippling on the surface, past the glamour and misleading promises of the what might be. You catch glimpses and images of what really will be, at least in the near future. Once activated, you allow 1 reroll of 1 die, not the wrath die, in any test you make for the remainder of the scene. In addition, you may petition the timeless beings that dwell in the warp to answer a single question about what may come to pass. The GM chooses the being that responds to your question and privately communicates the response. The response itself may be a short phrase or single word, an emotion, or something entirely. The beings of the warp are unfathomable to mortal minds and may be helpful or unhelpful, or utterly uncaring. The immaterium and those entities that dwell in it concern themselves with the vagaries of time that pertains to mortal realms, are loath to surrender this sort of detail regarding the future. A psycho risks much by prying in this manner. When making psychic mastery tests for this power, the roll ultimately counts as if a single one had been rolled. If on a wrath die, what's that? Sorry, a psychic. When making a psychic mastery test for this power, the roll automatically counts as if a single one had been rolled on the wrath die, meaning that if there are no ones rolled, then it would still count as one. That's okay.
Oh.
You may not use prescience more than once in the scene. So potency activation reduced by 5 minutes. And 2 is you can ask the GM any additional questions. So what is the question? What is the question?
Will the Revelator be used to aid or harm the Imperium of Man?
Screeching out from the warp, and you get an image of an all-seeing eye wreathed in fire of blues and pinks, chittering in numerous voices all at the same time. It says, it will, 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 it will.
Uh-oh.
It will aid or harm.
It's
Oh,
just,
gosh.
it will.
Well, that's very spooky. I didn't exactly get a nice vision of it.
But then
sitting
there
on
is also
some...
one other last whisper. Give it to Mendax. Give it to Mendax. She will take it safe.
Mr. Mariana has a policy to trust any creepy voice that she hears in her head. So yeah,
of course, Mariana doesn't hear any of this. None of you hear any of this. Only dear Annette, as she is focused on this item, looking into the future.
Sure got dark in here real fast.
Yeah, right.
I will, as to give a creepy light source, I will uncover part of the Revelator a bit, so it's glowing runes will.
Oh, it is really glowing.
Yeah.
Oh, lady, are you complete? Have you discovered anything?
I think that this thing will be used for great ill against the Imperium of Mankind. It cannot be allowed to fall into the Inquisitor's hands.
Well then, Mr. Rufio, please smash it with a rock.
I've got a better idea. I will smash it using the remnants of that creature we defeated upstairs. This Inquisitor doesn't know that this item was still functioning or not. And by destroying it without our normal weapons, that will further separate us from any possibility that we destroyed it. Perhaps we just found it already broken.
We also don't know what powers this thing or what will happen when it is destroyed.
Everyone should probably
That's
stand
why
back.
he's hitting it with the rock.
Rufio will take it, bring it upstairs, find a convenient claw from the the creature, and just start to bash down on any part that glows. Does the glowing subside? Does it begin to break?
Yeah, the rather large goat man starts trying to smash the Revelator with anything heavy and cumbersome. And yes, there is no. The weird thing is, as you hit the Revelator, no sound is made as metal meets metal. It is silence. You're hitting it with all your strength, and it still does not ring or ding or crack or shatter.
And there's no damage done, no visible damage to it?
No.
Rufio comes back to everyone else. Okay, we've got a bit of a problem here. I can't destroy it. There's a servitor out there with a melt-a-gun. Maybe that could melt it. That's the only thing I could think of.
What's inside of it?
It's
Chaos.
what's inside of the revelator. Well, the thing
Yeah.
is, it's a Klein jar. A Klein jar is a mathematical form where at one point the inside of the surface becomes the outside of the surface. It's like a bottle that feeds into itself so that the inside zone becomes the outside. Just look up a Klein jar and you'll know what. Okay, everyone's homework watching the stream.
Okay.
Look up a Klein jar and you'll understand it is a mathematically impossible object, hence why it is a piece of warp-tainted item that it is that can navigate the warp.
Oh, okay.
Everyone who
I
Googles
see
it
it.
has to make a corruption test.
Yes.
Oh. Yikes. Okay.
It's where time becomes a loop. No, that's a Mobius strip. Anyway.
Yeah. So melt-a-gun, or we can take a ship and just throw it out into the warp? No, that might be a terrible idea.
If this is what it can do as well, it could be of great value to Lord Veronius for navigating the Secretics. So, the question is, who do you want to give it to? That's still the main question.
Well, if we're going to give this back to Lord Veronius, we can't use the Stalker Flare. We have to find another way to get back to our rogue trader fleet. But sounds like this thing is dangerous.
Would we be able to, because I still have my insignia on me, don't I?
Yes.
Would we be able to go to Librarium?
If you went to Librarium, you could potentially from there requisition, or if you went to the cathedral, you could potentially requisition a ship.
Because I can still use my insignia to get us out of here without requisitioning without using the flare that we have.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we take it directly to Lord Veronius and what is his daughter's first name? I keep forgetting.
Severina.
Severina.
We
instead.
could do that, but this xenos, the Imperium of Man has got along for millennia without the need of this kind of xenos tainted, vile technology. And we've succeeded. We're the largest empire in the known galaxy. Perhaps we can just destroy this and keep it from falling into the wrong hands.
I don't honestly think if you were unable to destroy it, that any sort of machinery is going to do that.
Listen, I'm only as strong as a space marine. I mean,
A naked space marine at that.
A naked space
correct.
marine.
We got the Melta out there.
Who wants to hold it up?
Well, we'll put it on the ground.
Put it on the ground.
Rufio still has it in his hand, so he's going to exit the crypt. And is the Keeper of Flame still here?
The Keeper of Flames is still up there, lighting candles.
Keeper of Flame, come with me. He puts the Revelator on the ground and says, Keeper of Flame, I need you to direct the servitor there with the melt-a-gun to melt this infernal xenos-tainted object for the good of your noble house.
Okay, you can do a tech roll to try and give it the right command line structure.
That would be 2 icons.
The Flamekeeper looks at you with its dull red eye, still, bursts out a bit of flame from its little lighter. Command protocols incorrect. I do not have the ability to reprogram Guardian servitors.
Oh, Christ. Jeez. I don't know. Is Weir, are you around? Weir, are you behind me? Oh, geez, Weir. Okay. We're. Do you think you could slice off the melt-a-gun from that thing, and then we can just melt this? See if that works.
Alternatively, do I feel like the power blade would cut through it?
With great difficulty, and also there's the danger that before you even get close enough to the servitor,
No. The jar.
Oh, the jar. You can try.
I'm gonna just hold up my hand.
Rufio will hand it over.
Walk over. I'm gonna set it on a crypt, and I'm gonna try to cut it in half.
As you bring the crackling energy blade down onto the Klein jar, you hit, and as you do so, the energy field immediately is dissipated and goes out, and no sound is made, and there is no scratch made to the Klein jar.
Jeez. I mean, if we can't use the melt-a-gun, if we can't use the melt-a-gun, then we don't have anything on hand that's going to be able to destroy this thing. We just have to hand it over to the right people and put our faith
The right people
in the Emperor's servants.
I'm gonna pick it up, and I'm going to slip it into my robes.
Alternatively, a lot of bodies are processed here. It's like a needle in a haystack. If we wanted it to disappear, we could go back to where we first arrived, put the Revelator into a corpse somewhere, and let it be buried somewhere on this moon, and it could be lost for centuries.
Okay, hold on. I have an out-of-character question. You keep saying that you put it in your robe and we can put it in a corpse. I thought this thing was like a basketball size. Am I wrong in that?
It's about this big.
Okay, so it's fairly large.
Yeah.
We find a large body.
Oh.
You know, we could make this thing disappear for a while, and then we just go back and say that it was missing, it was gone, it wasn't there. Not our.
Oh, unfortunately, no. I don't think that's for the best. If we can't destroy it, then we're just pushing it down the line, and somebody else will definitely find it at some point,
Yep.
and they will not be as forthright and as honest as we are. They
How
might
about
use
this?
it for their own gain.
Agreed, Sister Mariana. You're definitely right. What if we requisition that shuttle, and as we're going back, we just launch this thing into the sun?
That might also work. The sun just goes out. We're like,
No, I
Oh, maybe.
We could have just killed the system, but
We get a lot of experience points for that, right? Kill them all.
what's that about unchecked power, huh?
See? That's what I'm talking about.
I don't like how Chris is just sitting there like,
I'm not commenting. You can come up with your own crazy way of dealing with this.
No, I feel we should go to the librarium. I use my insignia, and we go directly to Severina.
I feel like I've been watching the worst version of the Fellowship of the Ring, and they're at that meeting in Rivendell going, it's a gift. And it's like, no, this really isn't. No. And everyone's hitting it and it's not working. Yeah, anyway.
Or we go to Lord Veronius himself if we can get there.
Weir will gesture in agreement with the commissar.
I mean, that's the best of the bad options, I feel. I really wish we could find a way to just destroy it ourselves.
I do as well, but maybe at some point we can find a way.
Everyone can make corruption tests because you've been handling this thing
hanging out
presence for a while now. You're contemplating the very existence of it. You've tried to destroy it. You may have pissed it off if it's alive.
Rufio avoided corruption again. Ugh. I need those points. Come on.
How else are you meant to grow more horns? Where?
Give yourself another point of ruin.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
But I passed. I have a ton of successes, but I rolled a 1 on my wrath there. This is the only time I do it, apparently.
Oh, yeah, I have 4 successes. I'm good.
Yeah, same.
Did everyone else succeed on their corruption test? Yeah.
Hope that we get +4.
It doesn't hurt.
No.
We
You're
don't have
welcome.
the means to destroy it right now. We have the means to control where it goes, and that is what we do.
So, if you want to get back to trying to get a ship and get off world, you're going to have to go all the way back to the city. And that means your best, quickest route is perhaps going back to Diomedes's vehicle that you have.
I can fix the
lying
car.
around and
I can fix
fixing
the
it.
car. I could do that.
Yeah,
Here.
we're going to do that.
Roll some
Right,
tech.
okay. As you're all doing that, everyone can make a survival test for me to represent
Bad
traipsing
stat.
through the graveyards.
One success.
4.
Oh. I got one icon and 3 exalted icons.
Okay.
Holy smokes.
So long as everyone got a success, they're fine. But as you're making your way back, I'm going to spend a couple of corruption points here to upgrade the result of this to what I want. For the Boneyard encounter. As you're making your way through a narrow corridor, so it's like, you know, the route you're taking through is like between some elevated graveyards, and as you're walking past the walls of these graveyards, like many of the other ones have spilled open, the torrential rain causes the wall to fracture and releases a flood of bones and skulls out from the earth into the path and potentially drowning you in decaying bodies. All agents, that's you, must succeed a agility test. Difficulty 2.
Agility?
Best
Yeah.
agility?
Just
athletics.
agility?
Oh, sorry, athletics, sorry. Oh, no, it is an agility test, yeah.
Okay.
That's not good.
2 successes.
That's okay.
Holy crap. Okay.
Oh.
Oh,
Um,
wow. I got 3 exalted icons.
Everyone seemingly
That's all I rolled.
did.
Jeez.
You dodge and rush past the avalanche of skulls spilling from this stinking earth as you make your way back up towards the mausoleum where Diomedes' vehicle was hidden, and you remove the tarpaulin, you remove the gate, you reveal it, I guess you'll repair it in the relative dry that's there. So Rufio can start trying to tinker with the engine.
Yeah, I already rolled and I got 3 tech successes. 3 tech icons.
Yeah, that's enough. You repair, you make the relevant repairs, you use a bit of spittle, gum, whatever things to glue things together, and you repair the burst on the radiator, and you'll get on board, and with a growl, the engine bursts back into life, and the tracks dig into the earth, and you rattle off back down towards the city of Barastir, at which point I'm going to roll one further Boneyard encounter. Oh, cool. And as you do so, the rains begin to descend harder than ever, the earth getting more and more muddy. There's fast-flowing rivers and running off the graveyards, and there is what was a road is now completely flooded. I need Rufio then with his. Does Rufio have pilot? Does anyone?
I do have pilot.
Oh yeah, come on, Rufio, gun that engine. Let's see if you can glide it across the water.
Okay. Is anyone? Shit, no one can assist me with this.
I was actually watching him drive it. Could I assist? I do have pilot too.
Oh yeah, you can assist. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't
So
see
you
much
can
to add to it.
you just roll your rating in pilot, not the full
Okay.
pilot plus whatever the skill would be.
Ooh, baby. I got 4 total icons, of which there was an exalted icon in the on the wrath die.
Wow.
I didn't get anything, but I didn't also get a 1.
Yeah, right.
Whew,
Well, I wouldn't
alright.
count on yours anyway. You power through, you keep the engine going, and even though there's the danger of the engine being waterlogged, you of course you keep up the revs, you keep up the speed, and you make it through the flooding. And after a good 45 minutes or so, you are back in the streets of Barastir, and of course, chugging your way through, heading towards the library. Is that where you want to go to?
I think we're going to go to. That's where the Sisters of Battle were, the Adeptus Sororitas. So
Or you can go to they're there in the cathedral as well.
Did we ever properly recover the servo skulls?
Sister
Yes,
Mariana
they
has
were.
them.
Yes, you do have them.
They were in the back of the car.
Yes, thank you.
Yep, so we will use that as well.
So you could head towards the library and use them there, because you can hand them back over to the
Sure.
archivist as a
Sure.
gift.
Yeah, I can get there.
Okay, you park up outside the Librarian Mortem, and you're caked in mud at this point, and
Yeah, we all smell like wet goat.
you walk in, but Archivist Abia notices you, and you head over. She waves you to come forward to her overladen desk filled with scrolls and papers, and she looks up to you. You're back. Did you recover the servo skulls?
Poor sister. Did you not believe we would?
You are a blessing indeed. They're worth so much to me. Are they? Oh, I see. They must. It is a shame. They will have to be properly repaired. It looks, but still, their cogitators look intact. The data banks are surely in good repair. I'm most grateful for you to return these. Did you need me now to find the Galfreda, the information on the Galfreda's tomb?
No, we've got all the information that we need. However, we do need a small favor. If you could get us a ride off of here, that would be fantastic.
I could put you in contact with someone within the cathedral who might well be able to find transport for you. You require transport off-world?
Yes.
I will, as Sister Mariana was talking, I will pull out my credentials.
Oh, you pull out your badge of office, and
I'm not going to flash it for everybody.
No.
just for
Her
herself.
face goes white. She looks up in your eyes. Of course, Commissar. This is you are on a mission of the Emperor. Then, I will do my best to find you some means of escape. And I think we're going to leave it there, because I think what I thought was going to end with this session has now gone off down a very different route, because you have chosen not to hand over anything. You've chosen not to contact Mendax, and things might get interesting, I believe, at this stage. I'm interested in what was going to happen, and plus I can plan for the next story and carry on. Right. At which point, as always, thank you for watching and enjoying this actual play of Wrath and Glory. If you enjoy this and other actual plays, there are, of course, many other ones on Gehenna Gaming's Twitch stream, and you can find all the previous episodes of this as well on the Twitch stream, but you can also head over to YouTube. If you want to find out more about Wrath and Glory and the Warhammer RPGs by Cubicle 7, you can head over to Dark Days Radio and find all our Darkhammer episodes, which we're going to do some more soon. Mostly we're going to talk about, I think we're going to talk about Eldar, actually, because we've done elves. We're going to talk about Eldar or Eldari. Also, if you go over to our Twitter, or at least there's our Twitter at Dark Days Radio. There's our Instagram at Dark Days Radio that has numerous pictures of miniatures we've painted. If you go over to our blog, there's actually a painting guide to how to paint blood ravens, which I've done, which use the new Primaris Assault Intercessors that come from the Indomitus box set that are in the new box sets coming out, and they're very cool. And it's literally all just contrast paints. Anyone can do it. It's dead easy. Is there anything else I've forgotten? No. Other important things. There is on the Twitch stream of Swansea Comics Games, you can watch, and it's on our Facebook page as well, you can watch the panel of myself, Howard Ingham, and Matthew Dawkins talking about horror in general. We talk a lot about folk horror as well, and why British people have some weird horror ideas, because we're messed in the head. Then also there is a panel coming up for UK Games Expo in 2 weeks' time, where myself and a number of other panelists will be talking about how to get into writing for role-play games. So there's people like Steffi Devan, and there's Kat Evans, who've written on various games like Vampire Masquerade 5th edition. And we've got other panels coming up and that have also been recorded. So Crystal, you did a few panels for Gen Con. So
Yes.
Those will be available very soon, I imagine, on...
They are on the Gen Con Twitch. They are also on Gehenna. One of them's on Gehenna Gaming.
Yeah.
They are also going to be on the Gen Con YouTube channel. I was also on GeeklyCon's panel yesterday for how not to suck at storytelling. And you can find that on their Twitch, but also on their YouTube, I think in a week. And I think we are confirmed for PAX.
Nope. Nothing can be announced.
Oh. I did not know that.
Yep. No worries.
Sorry.
You didn't hear any of that. So there are no details. And do we have any other cons that we've done stuff for recently that's gone up on video? I can't think of anything. No.
Jiangxi.
Yes, we had a great episode. Yeah, of Jiangxi, which is the Blood in the Banquet Hall, which is currently on Kickstarter. If you're watching this, also currently on Kickstarter still is. They came from Beyond the Grave. I just ordered print on demand. They came from Beneath the Sea, which is cool. I am thinking I may try and rewrite. I'm going to talk to Matthew Dawkins about when that's available on Storytime Vault, because I want to rewrite The Hunger Within to be, which is a Chronicles of Darkness game that we ran for Gehenna Gaming Con, and rewrite it as a 70s horror story set in my hometown, which of course, it's terribly easy to do. You just add a lot more exploitation 70s nonsense to it. Maybe Benny Hill. I don't know. Anyway, I think that is pretty much it. Is there anything to plug, Elaine, from your end? Anything upcoming or interesting or anything out?
Yeah, well, in general, if you want to follow myself, you can catch me most likely on Twitter, which is just at Elaine Lithgow. In terms of upcoming projects, we've got, if you're interested in board games, we've got a new board game Kickstarter coming up at the end of the month, which is Familiar Alchemy, which is a game about brewing potions and competing to be an apprentice alchemist. Very, very lovely, very good, very excited for that one. And we're also in development for the Adventure Mark Tabletop RPG, which is a massively tonal shift from the type of things you see on here. But if anybody wants to play a tabletop RPG, which is essentially a cross between Clerks and Animal Crossing, where you're a bunch of anthropomorphic, cute animals, and you're trying to run a 7-Eleven in a fantasy world, and the customer's always right and the rent is always due is kind of the thing. So you're sort of going around, you're trying to deal with day-to-day problems. You've got like a troublesome customer, but there's also dragons have infested the freezer, and you got to go deal with that while dealing with the customer.
I totally, while it sounds like a tonal shift, I'm sure if we played it, the tonal shift would veer straight back to complete bedlam and gore and so forth.
It does have a lot of subtext of capitalism bad and things like that. There's a lot of things like that in there. It's very, very light and fluffy and colorful on the surface, but there's a lot of kind of dark undertones and things like that going on in there.
Yep.
Sold. We'll see if you're interested. That's going to be our project after Familiar Alchemy, and I'm going to be putting together quick plays and running games everywhere anyone will let me. So maybe that's a future collab or something. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and we'll be back then in 2 weeks' time for this,
Yes.
unless there's anything else going on. And I have and that's the same Sunday as well as the Virtual Expo stream as well, which is at 9 a.m. British summer time. And I think that's it.
Just swinging back over to They Came From Beyond the Grave, we will be running a shot of that this Tuesday, so in 2 days, on the Gehenna Gaming channel, I believe, on the Path channel. That
Cool.
is original one-shot I am running.
Who else is playing in that?
That would be Mark and Rick from Gehenna Gaming, as well as Nick from Gehenna Gaming, and our friend Wes from Carrying Comfort.
Cool. Sweet.
All awesome people.
Is Wes going to be playing the same character?
No.
Oh.
Not.
Oh.
But because he's playing, I don't remember which archetype he's playing off the top of my head from They Came From Beyond the Grave. It's going to be good.
I'm really looking forward to it because obviously my partner Sam is is the font of all knowledge for anything Amicus and Hammer Horror and is I think we're gonna just play it that way. And also the cool thing is you can do some really weird, even though it's 70s or it's a turn of the century but as made by people in the 70s, you do it that way because you've got cards to make it the set is rickety and stuff like that. You can also do an equivalent where you run it like the Love Witch would be really easy to do, where it looks like the 70s, but hold on a minute, why has that person brought out a smartphone? I don't understand. It's you can do weird things like that with it. So
let me put it this way: the scenario I'm running is the horror at Redstone Academy. They will be playing students at a boarding school.
No. Me, the 30th Duke of Winbury, with my reputation. That's a quote from The Fast Show, which is a wonderful British comedy series, which is very, very old. And all of those you can find on YouTube and hilarious and really, really wrong in their context, but very funny in the way that Paul Whitehouse plays it. I think that's it, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. And I'm going to actually have to add more story content because I think we've gone off-piste with this scenario. So I'm going to have to create some new stuff. Excellent.
Cool.
Yeah, it was bound to happen.
Keep you busy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right. So bye for now.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Yep, bye.
Gehenna Gaming, I'll see you tomorrow.